Thank you very much. It is great to be here hosting Saturday Night Live for the 4th time. It's the most anyone's ever hosted. Happy Halloween to all of you, and thank you for coming to this, and thank you to everyone here who did so much work to make something happen, because nothing had been happening for so long. We all really appreciate it. My name is John Mulaney. I am a comedian, or as I like to call us, the last responders. I live in New York City. I love New York City, and I love that you're all wearing masks, but I'm a little sad about masks in New York City because it prevents you from overhearing conversations on the street, and that is one of this city's greatest joys. Just before COVID hit, this was in December, I was downtown. I was on West 12th Street. And I was walking downtown, I was on West 12th, and I'm walking this way, and this guy's walking towards me, and he's on his cell phone. And we're both downtown, and as he walks past me, I hear him go, no, I can't meet right now. I'm way uptown. And then he looked at me, and he winked, and he kept walking. It's the greatest guy I've ever seen in my life. A lot of people were binge-watching shows during quarantine. I watched a series that I absolutely loved. It was an hour-long dramedy called The Daily Press Conferences of Governor Andrew Cuomo. And, yes, it was great. It told the story of an Italian-American father who, after being an empty nester, finds himself quarantining with his 2 daughters. Hijinks ensue, but he learns a lot about being a father and a little bit about being a governor. I loved those press conferences. He would walk out every day a little too excited, and he'd sit down and go, today is Tuesday, a hint of pride that he remembered the day, as if backstage one of his jabronis was like, there's no way you're remembering the day. You watch me. He'd get out there and he'd start his rhythm. You know, he'd be like, we are New York, and we are New York tough. And we are New York tough because we are New York strong. And we are New York strong because we are New York kind. He was talking like Smurf language after a while. New Yorkliness is very New York to New Yorkers. What Cuomo did that was brilliant was that he tried to relate to us with his own problems. Like sometimes he'd be talking about a situation we were all going through, and it was clearly just some stuff going down in the Cuomo household at that moment. You know, he'd be like, I know, we're all trying to figure this out. You know, let's say your brother's wife wants to take the kids to see grandma. You go, they can't see grandma. Grandma's vulnerable. She's elderly. But she says, well, what if the kids come halfway in the house and she stays on the other side of the kitchen? I'm going, it's airborne, this thing. You can't have grandma even in the kitchen. She says, well, it's important for the kids to see their grandma. I go, you gabone bitch. If you bring your kids even into the mudroom of my mother's house, I will break your neck and bury you in the Rockaways. Worried that when the coronavirus is over, that Cuomo won't realize that his show is over. Like, I'm scared he'll take it on the road and try to play stadiums and come out and be like, hey, who wants to hear about my daughter's boyfriend? And everyone's like, play COVID! And by the way, he's like not even our least weird our least weird politician in America. He's on like 45 of the weird ones. I'm supposed to make an announcement. On November 3rd, there is an elderly man contest. There's 2 elderly men, and you're supposed to choose your favorite of the 2 elderly men. You can put it in the mail, or you can go and write down which elderly man you like, and then we'll add them all up, and then we might have the same elderly man, or we might have a new elderly man. But just rest assured, no matter what happens, nothing much will change in the United States. The rich will continue to prosper while the poor languish. Families will be upended by mental illness and drug addiction. Jane Lynch will continue to book lots of projects, and when she does, she'll deliver. She's so good at being on TV. She's very good. That will continue, but there will be problems. There will be sleepovers where, 5 of the girls gang up on one of the girls, and they bully the girl, and the girl they're bullying, the girl having the sleepover didn't even want to invite, but her mom made her, and that's really the root of the tension. And they bully her until she's crying, and then she wants to go home. So the parents of the girl having the sleepover have to call the unpopular girl's parents and say, can you come pick her up? And then there's that moment where the dad has to sit at like the dining room table while they wait for the pickup, and he's in pajamas and the outcast is in her winter coat looking kind of stoic, and they have nothing to talk about, you know? So he tries to apologize for the fact that his daughter is a bitch, and he kind of implies that she gets it from the wife. All of that will still continue. But it's American. But you should vote. You gotta vote. Vote as many times as you can. Vote, and don't just fill in every circle, every dot they have, fill them in. And if a page says this page was intentionally left blank, you write whatever you want on that. That's your space as an American. Now, my Nana is going to vote, and she's 94 years old. And, yes. Do you applaud for things that you don't think are a good idea? Listen, this is my opinion. I don't think it's going to be that popular. Why don't we shut the door so no one hears it? I don't think maybe she should vote. You know, you don't get to vote when you're 94 years old. You don't get to order for the table when you're about to leave the restaurant. I'm sorry, that joke is ageist. That is wrong. It is wrong to say one age group is better than another. That would be like calling yourselves the greatest generation. We fought the Nazis. Well, we're trying to fight the new Nazis if you get out of the way and stop voting for people you saw in between coin collector commercials. But listen. But I love my grandma. You know, I love my Nana. You know, when you're a kid, you just love your grandma just totally. And as you get older, you start to wonder, you know, about her relationship with your mother. You know, like, you're like, why does that old lady make Mom so nervous? Something must have happened there. But my Nana's a great, eccentric, wonderful person. I'll tell you a story. When she was 88 years old, she didn't like her driver's license photo. She was still driving at 88. That's not even the point of the story. She didn't like her driver's license photo. She thought it was unflattering. And I take her side in this. I also thought it was unflattering, mainly because it was a photo of an 88-year-old woman. So her plan was this. She was going to go to the Marblehead, Massachusetts DMV and tell them that she lost her license. So she went to the Marblehead, Mass DMV, and she said, I lost my license, and I need a new license and a new photo. And the guy there said, do you have any proof of ID? And she took out her license. And then, as she told me, we stared at each other for a moment. And then I said, you've caught me in a lie. And I took my license and left. A couple summers ago, I was with my Nana, and it was a family reunion, and I had to walk her to her car after, like I had to. Not like when you walk a bridesmaid and there's no stakes. I had to hold her up. So I walk her to her car. She's got like a brown-gray car. It's no brand. I think the government gave it to her. And we get to the car door, and she opens it, and she looks at me, and she says, you know, I used to be Carolyn Stanton, but now everyone says I'm John Mulaney's grandmother. Well, I want you to know that if I wasn't your grandmother, I wouldn't know who you are. Sorry. And then she drove off. We have a great show for you tonight. The Strokes are here, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around. We're going to be right back.